Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all of you. Our group is Group 7 and we're going to present about price level and strategies, which is Chapter 7. And my name is Muhamad Ariffin and this is...
My name is Muhamad Hilmi bin Ikhsan.
Hello, my name is Muhamad Asyraf bin Yusuf.
And we're going to start with Muhamad Hilmi first.
Okay. Okay, so for my part, I would like to present about the price level of strategies, the definition of price level. So, a price level is the average of the current price across the entire goods and service produced in the economy. So, in the general price level, which is we have to focus on the two main things, which is a good service and tradable security. Next, the price level change during a specific period, month or year. Next. So for the types of price level, they have four, which is premium pricing, economy pricing, price skimming, and psychological pricing. So first, I would like to present about the premium pricing. For the main types of the price level, for the premium pricing, which is introducing new product that has distinct competitive advantage over similar product. Next, premium price is higher than competitors. Next, small business sell unique sell product. So for the economy pricing, we have to see about the set price in the minimum to make a small profit. For the main purpose is to sell high volume of product and service at a low price. Mostly large company like Walmart has the advantages for the low price strategy. So for the economy pricing, the main target is for the small business. The main target is for the large company, not for the small company, because the small business very difficult to stay in the business at the low price. Okay, next. So for the price skimming, for the types of price level, price skimming introducing new product with the high price in the market, maximize the profit before the competitors enter the market before the price drop. So for the price skimming which is in the market, we introducing the new product for the market, so we maximize the profit in the high way. Okay, next. Next, for the psychological pricing. Psychological pricing play with the price. For example, product price 199 instead of 200. So the main is, for the example, for the product price 199 instead of 200, because of mostly of the customer, the main what we call it, the price, psychological pricing, instead of 200, customer think 199 is much more lower than the 200, but it's still what we call it, not too far the price. So this is known as a left digit effect. So for the bundle pricing, sell multiple product together for a lower price than the purchase separately. Next point is effective strategy to unsold item. Okay, next. There are a few factors for influencing price level: customer, competitors, economy and government law and regulation, and product cost. So for the customer, price elasticity, percentage change in the quantity demanded, percentage change in price. So for the calculation for the product cost, BEP stands for break even price. Total fixed cost divided by the contribution per unit. So minus with the variable cost. Next. There are also the importance of the price level and the price setting. There are 5: profit margin, sales volume, position, market share, and the loss leader. Okay, next. Okay, the reason for the price level increase and decrease, they have two: inflation and deflation. So for the inflation, types of inflation, they have three. Demand pull inflation, which is, for the example, government spending, money supply and shortage. For the cost push inflation, they have three also: commodity price, tax level, and exchange rate. So for the effect of the inflation is to fall on distribution of income and wealth and on production. So for the deflation, they have three main points: a free fall in the business profit, lower returns on the most investment, widespread for the job layoff. Okay, that's all from me. So I would like to pass the next point to Mr. Ariel. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, my friend Mr. Hilmi. Okay, I will explain about the ethical issues related to price level. There are 5 ethical issues that related to price level, which are price gouging, profiteering, bad pricing, money laundering, and price discrimination. Okay, first we go to price gouging. This is the act of raising prices on specific kinds of goods and services to an unfair or unreasonable level, especially during a state of emergency. This happens when the sellers take an advantage during the, for example, natural disaster. The sellers will spike the price. So because the customer will go to them to get any goods on their needs. Okay, next, the characteristics is it will encourage hoarding. It means that for those who are lucky enough to be at the front to purchase more than that they truly require or need. Second, the price gouging will discourage businesses from boosting supplies. There are little encouragement for any company or organization to hustle to expand supplies. Okay, second, we will go to profiteering. Okay, profiteering is quite similar with price gouging. It is because the seller making larger profits by charging high price for goods that are hard to get, same as when natural disaster happen to certain places. There is usually no governmental control over the profiteering unless it involves illegal means, or in other terms, is coercive monopoly. Okay, for example, items such as bottled water, bread, milk, fruit, vegetables, and petrol. This often happens because it costs business more to get goods into their shops. Okay, next. Okay, this is a characteristic of profiteering. The sellers is being well prepared, they are creative, and they are quick thinker because they have to set the price before or during the disaster happen. Next is bad pricing. Bad pricing, or we can call bait and switch pricing. A strategy used to attract customers by making them think that they will have to pay less for something that costs more. As an example, an employees could use a bait and switch strategy to make their workers think that the company is offering more working benefits than it really is. Okay, the characteristics is it is too good to be true. The fine print is confusing, especially for advertising. Confusing pricing terms. There are limited information about the sellers. Usually they will keep their information and they will not tell their customer what they really do. And when the salesperson pushes a different deal. Okay, especially during, if you can see any advertisement, there are some fine prints that might trick us. So we have, as a customer, we must read it carefully and understand what the detail means are. Okay, for money laundering, okay, the activity that legitimize the gain money from its pure sources, or we can say that it is dirty money that they are processed into a legitimized money. Okay, it is affected by passing its secretly through legitimate business medium from one place to another, such as through bank deposits, investment, or transfers. Okay, the characteristics is global nature, the flexible and adaptability for its operations. The use of latest technology means and professional assistance. The ingenuity of its operators and the vast resources at their disposal. Actually, it is a criminal activity which is long term and continuing and is carried out irrespective of racial boundaries. And it is a large scale and generates proceeds which are often made available for illicit use. Okay, the last one is a price discrimination. It is an action when the sellers charging different prices for the different goods or services. It is a result in greater revenue for the firm itself. For example, airline tickets and professional services all offer different prices for different discount. Okay, the characteristics is there must be a different in elasticity of demand, market imperfections. The sellers have to differentiate the product that they provide, and the third one is there are monopoly existence in the market. Okay, this is the graph for price discrimination. Next. And this one also, there are inelastic market, elastic market, and combined market. Okay, the next part is I will pass to my friend, Fithri.
Alright, hi. So I'm going to talk to you about Consumer Price Index. So the Consumer Price Index is actually a measure, an index that measures the weighted average price of every basket of goods that usually, consumer use or the services they use, transport, food, and medical care. Okay, so these are the characteristics of the Consumer Price Index. These are actually the things that they weigh so they could calculate whether, there's an inflation on prices and whatnot. So the first one is food and beverages, second one housing, third one apparel, fourth one transportation, fifth one medical care, 6 recreation, 7 education and communication, and 8 other goods and services. Alright, okay. So what is the function of Consumer Price Index? So basically, Consumer Price Index, it measures inflation. So inflation, we can see it as a threat to a healthy economy, and it is also a determinant for government to make economic policies. And third one, it is a determinant for prices to be adjusted according to the CPI or the Consumer Price Index. Next. Okay, there's a way to calculate this CPI. Mainly, it is used by the United States of America, and this is how you calculate it first. So, firstly, you find the current year index by dividing the current year prices of goods with the base price year. So, you take the year on top, and then you divide it with the base year. So the base year is usually followed by last year or 2 years before, 5 years before, it depends. And then after you have done that, you need to multiply with the current year index with the weight to find the weighted price index for every good. And then lastly, you need to calculate the weighted CPI or the weighted consumer price index by dividing the sum of all weighted price index with the total weights. So, next. So this is the example of how to calculate CPI, weighted CPI. So this is the current year prices which I've stated. So the current year prices must be on top, and then the base year, which is the year before, must be below. And then you times it by 100, and then you get the index for the basket of goods. So in this case we use food, and then we have apparel, medical care, and transportation. But for the sake of simplicity, I'll just use food first, and then you'll get the current year index. So this current year index, it has a total weights of 4. So basically, total weights in meaning that it has like, when we buy foods, we have apples, maybe oranges or things like that. So that is the kind of basket of goods that we are saying here. So that is weight. And then you have to times it by the weight to get the weighted price index. After that, you have to do all the following for the apparel, medical care, transportation and whatnot to get the final weighted price index. But before that, you need to divide it by the total weights. So the total weighted price index divided by the total weight, and then you'll get the weighted CPI. Okay, next. Alright, so what's the advantage of using CPI? Okay, so basically CPI is reported more often. Usually the US, United States of America, it reports it every month. So people will know, so this is how you measure price index, this is how you measure inflation. So it is deemed more timely, and it is more associated to consumer because in the name itself, it is consumer price index. So we measure what the consumer what the consumer spends on. And then, so the disadvantage of the CPI, well, it is a lagging indicator. So basically, the CPI only measures the consumer price expenditure. It only weigh in what the consumer buys and not the government buy. So it's a bad indicator for a long-term kind of planning, but in the short term, it's quite a good indicator. So next one. Okay, one more to calculate price index or price level, how we measure it, is by using the GDP deflator. So the GDP deflator is a measure of the price level of all domestically produced final goods and services in an economy. Next. Okay. The characteristic of the GDP deflator is made out of 4 basic groups. It covers a lot more than CPI does. So in this case, GDP deflator uses consumer expenditures, government expenditures, investment expenditures, and also net exports. It accounts for everything that the country or the economy of the country produces. So the function of this is actually wrong. This is actually the GDP deflator. Sorry. So it is to measure the level of prices of all new domestically produced final goods and services in the economy. GDP deflator is a measure of price inflation or deflation with respect to a specific base year. Okay. There is also a way to calculate the GDP deflator. Firstly, you have to calculate the nominal GDP by multiplying the units of output with the price per unit. And then you have to calculate the real GDP by multiplying the units of output with price per unit from the base year. And then you have to calculate the GDP deflator by dividing the nominal GDP by the real GDP. So, next, leave it there. Yeah. So, here, GDP deflator. So, how to calculate it is to get it like this: nominal GDP divided by real GDP. So how do I calculate nominal GDP? Easy. So you have the prices. Let's say we use orange and apples. Okay, I'm gonna use the prices of orange. Okay, times by the quantity of orange produced, and then I'm gonna this is apple, so the same goes to the apple. It's the same way as this one. It's price of the apple times the quantity of the apple, and then you sum all of it here, and then you use. So let's say this is for 2018, and let's say we're gonna use 2017 for that. So we're gonna write here P17 of orange times like quantity of quantity 17 orange plus the same thing goes for the apples. Okay, so that is how you actually calculate GDP deflator. And then next one. So the advantage and disadvantages of the GDP deflator is, okay, actually GDP deflator is a more stable thing for you to compare. So it is easy to compare GDP deflator to other time periods, whether you can use it from 1970, 1990, and then you can compare it to these days, whether you want to know it's inflated or deflated. And then it also measures the prices of changes in all aspects in the economy. Like I said, the CPI only measures consumer prices, consumer expenditures, but GDP covers a lot of things in the economy. And then the disadvantages is the accuracy is somewhat off due to the rounding off of currencies from different locations. So basically, you have to take a lot of account from every other aspect of the economy, and then you need to know whether it's basically like it's hard to find an accurate measurement because a few of the basket of goods, they will not give an exact measure of the units. And then one of the disadvantages also is released quarterly. So basically you have to wait for a quarter of the year to know the GDP deflator of that current economy or that current country. Next one. Yes. So that's all from us from Group 7. Thank you.
Thank you.